Okay, everyone, we're trying once again to start this live. I so apologize. It's Monica Sharf again, and we're going to try to get Alex to join us. We've been having some serious technical issues. All right, let me try. Okay, I'm trying now. No. Oh, yes. I've just invited him, so I've just accepted, and hopefully, um, here we go! Yay!
Yeah, yeah.
What a nightmare! A
Yeah,
technical
yeah.
nightmare.
Now that's okay, okay. Now we
Oh my
know why
God.
that. Okay.
I think the problem was that you weren't following Street Macadam, and that may have caused
Yeah,
the problem. All right,
maybe.
so let's catch up. Can you,
Okay.
you have such an incredible background. Can you talk a little bit about, your life, where have you been, and how you got involved in photography?
I'm not sure I have the wonderful background, but
Well,
yeah, but yes, definitely I will tell. So I started to photography at age of 10, maybe. I'm now 63, 62. So it's about, yeah, 52 years. Yeah, and so I study art history, but after that I quit and switched to science. But in parallel, I always film, so do photography always. But only somewhere in maybe 15 years ago, I felt that maybe I have something that I can show. Until then, I did the wedding, portraits, everything. But yes, and then I started to present my works. That's all actually. That's where I lived.
yeah, where you
I
lived. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. I
you
was
you
born in in Ukraine, study in St. Petersburg, then Leningrad. At age of 27, I left, and I lived in Lithuania. Um, and after that, I get to Israel, and I'm living till then. I'm living in Israel, in a small town near Tel Aviv. That's actually all what I can say about myself.
so when you moved to Israel, you connected somehow or you fell in love with the Dead Sea region, and how did that influence your photography?
We lived in south part of Israel, near the Dead Sea. I was in kibbutz called Lotan, and we spent there several years. And that's when I fall in love in that region. And when we moved to central part of the country, I started to film Dead Sea from. It's one of my old projects, so I started film that from 16 till 24. In 24, I published a book under the Sodom Mountain. Um, that's actually the summer up all this project. That's where we are. So actually, the book was the product or result of almost 80 years of filming. Um, so and it was very difficult to present two different planes from one side the beauty of the Dead Sea, and from the other the ecological situation in the Dead Sea. So we try to do that in the right way. It's taken another 2 years to find the uh, solution. Just a moment, I will show you the book.
Yeah, I actually wanted to show everyone some of your work because I'd like you to talk about you have an
Yeah.
extremely distinctive approach to your work. I mean, it's almost like it's a painting. We have this shot right here. Your use of color, um, almost diffused. Forgive it. This printing is not doesn't do your photography justice, but you have it's almost like a painterly approach. It seems like you have elements of the impressionist painters, and even in your shot here in Venice of Whistler, the painter. can you
Yeah.
can you talk about how does that come about? How do you produce your images? Is this kind of diffused color, does that
Yeah.
happen
Yeah. Yeah.
in camera or does it happen in post?
I tell you that I switched to Leica about I tell you exactly when, in 10 years ago. I switched to Leica and I took it was M9, I think, then, from a friend of mine, and I try and I find this look like. So I switched to Leica, and to answer on your question, it's the glass. I mean, the Leica glass, and also some kind of post editing, but I'm not very much in that. So, I mean, it's 90% the short, the gear, the glass, and a bit editing.
So this technique you have about the blurred images, and uh, the colors that you're able to evoke. So how do you go about getting that kind of an effect? It obviously speaks to your connection with your subject matter, which is nature,
Uh,
and architecture, and the environment. So can you talk a little bit about that?
yeah. So it's just a lot of work. That's all. I'm filming. I have privilege maybe to film where I want, and when I love. So the places that I feel some connection with them. So let's start with the Dead Sea.
Yeah.
I found the gear and I found the weather condition. So the weather condition where everything is blur is when you don't have the wind, and that condition is pretty seldom in the Dead Sea Valley. So it's like 3, 5, maybe 10 days in a year, and nobody know when. So what I do, I drive to the Dead Sea. I see there wind. I come back. It's 2 hours to the Dead Sea and 2 hours back. So it's 4 hours for nothing. So and all the book is filmed in 8 years, but it took maybe 10 days of shooting. I mean, in the right weather condition.
Okay.
And the van is exactly the same. And also, I spend a lot of time on each project. I know the place, I know the weather, I know the light. In the Jerusalem, I know the temperature of every light in the street. So yes, it's take a lot of time and effort. But what's important is the results. And in Venice, I shooting in the fog, and that's why you see some colors like that.
Yeah, this photograph here is just extraordinary. It has
Thank you.
almost, it's almost like you're shooting a film. Um, I don't know if you've had any experience with actual live action, or you just do stills.
I do stills.
Mm. Um, it seems that you focus mostly on nature, and less on the people. How would you make a connection between what you do, and street photography, which we're used to seeing much sharper images and people caught in the moment of some kind of activity? Your stuff is more poetic, it's more lyrical, it's got a sense of, romanticism about the mood. So, can you talk about, you know, street photography is kind of like taking things at the spur of the moment. It seems like uh, the way you go about doing things is very controlled because you're relying on weather and timing to take your photographs.
I tell you the truth, I don't know what is means street photography. There is a good photography and nothing. A lot of street photography is high contrast stuff with the one hand, one leg, one. It's very. I don't think this is. It's my opinion. Yes, I don't know what this street photography definition. Okay, I not I all my what I doing in it's also some kind of street photography. It's not staged. In that sea, I did a lot of portraits and everything. So I asked people. I don't think the any my shot worth that somebody will feel bad with that I shooting or take photo of somebody. So I'm very easy with that. This one and the second one, my focal length. I'm more relaxed with the 50 millimeters or 75 millimeters. That's where I am. And for the portraits, are using very wide. Uh, 21 of the Leica is amazing. So that's where I am.
And it seems, I mean, what I gather from your website, that your primary focus at this time in your life is your interest in environmental issues and man's relationship to nature, and how we've taken advantage of what we have and are ruining our environment. Can you talk about that and how that sort of demonstrates in your work?
Yeah, definitely. So actually, all the book is about that. So as I said, there is a two dimensional the book. So from one side, it's beauty of the place, and the second one is ecological um, catastrophe of the place. Dead Sea is losing about 1 meter every year. So in 50 years, there is nothing will be there. So it's very difficult to show the ugliness as also the beauty. So from a design perspective, it was done by double spread. I don't know if you see. This is a book. This is a book. This is a book.
Right.
Okay, and it's done with double spread. So on that one, you see the photography of the
Right.
Dead Sea, and from that side, it's you see the ugliness of the place. So it's like
Uh,
You have so that's how that presented, and uh, the Venice, it's more likely the connected it exactly to this, but it's not more ecological, but how people live in nature or how they're using the water or ecology or environment and live in that. So it's very interesting. And I'm just came from Venice again, and I will be in Venice again in March. And I feel I have enough material to do another book or maybe something else. Yes, yes. So I know exactly what I want there. So I will finish that maybe this year.
Okay,
So
I
it's
do.
again, it's people and their environment. Yeah.
Um, are there any photographers that inspire you or that you feel particularly drawn to in terms of
Yeah.
what they do?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's how to say that is a good question because I pretty everyone asks this question. So I'm not sure if you know the names, but one of the genius of the Soviet Union photographers, Boris Savelyev. Um, I even pick up his book. Okay, he is the book. It's opposite. Okay,
It's
uh,
okay.
Boris Savelyev. Okay, I don't know if you have. Okay, anyway, it's amazing photographer. It's one of my best, and yes, so one of them, and Steichen. Okay,
Oh yeah,
this is another one. That's the Steichen, the style of Steichen, the early Steichen. I think this is one of the what I really love, and lighter in
right.
the last time is very popular. So that's where I am.
And the Russian photographer you just showed us the book of,
Yeah.
his stuff seems more like Eggleston, like much sharper colors, brighter images, whereas Steichen is more sort of atmospheric, and Lettier also is, follows the range from very sharp focus to out of focus, especially with his color.
Savelyev is very is different. He has many different. He passed through. By the way, we met and we contact each other, and we are friends.
Oh wow.
So no, so I don't know. I'm bad, very bad in analyzing what I love, what not, and just love them, and that's all.
Well, it's more like what your affinity for them. Like I was a documentary filmmaker, so a lot of what I did in terms of references for my camera people were to pick photos that spoke to me, and there's a particular reason why these photos spoke to me in terms of framing and mood and
Hmm.
time frame. And I'm wondering if there's anything in particular out of, there are like thousands of photographers, that these particular ones, you know were up your alley, if you want to put it that way. Is there something, what is, or it's intangible? I That's what I'm curious about.
When we are talking about the art, and that's actually where we are, and at least what we are trying to do. It's very difficult to explain or put some kind of laws because the art is something out of definition. Yeah. So
Right.
why we need to find out? I just love what they do and how they do. Um, yes, I don't know. I
That's
feel
okay.
that
It's all right.
I tell you, the Savelyev, if I will do the framing, I will do exactly the same one. And when we spend time with him on the shooting, yes, that's it's some kind of connection. I don't know, the internal connection. I met a lot of the greatest and late the photographers, but the internal connection, maybe because we are both from Ukraine and was born many years ago. I don't know. Have no idea.
Um, how do you feel about color versus black and white?
I do black and white a lot. So I think the outcome of every photographer is the print. So I have studio, I have the printer, and by the way, he was out of order today.
Oh, sorry about that.
But yes, and I do printing, and that's I think I do very good printing and do color and black and white depends on the project. Venice is will be in black and white and also in color, for example.
Do you, forgive me if I don't know, the camera itself, you shoot color and then and then in post you do the black and white, or you can shoot in black and white?
No, 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 no. I don't have the monochrome. No, no. I have the Leica M11 and I have SL2. Mm, yeah, this is the color, the raw file, and after that I do the whatever.
Right.
But because I came from the analog actually, so yes, I don't like I like this feeling of the film photography. So it's always like that.
In other words, you have more of affinity for digital versus actual film.
I don't know what does it mean, but
Meaning,
I'm
when
yeah.
you shot now, everything's shot on digital cameras, and then the lenses themselves are film
Hmm.
lenses. So I'm not sure. Maybe I misunderstood what you were saying, but the you prefer
What I try to say that this is M11. My M11 that I spend with this gear a lot of time. So I always shooting with an ND filter on that, and my exposure is always one. Depends in my stationary or I'm working, but I'm doing in 110 or 120. So it's always not perfect focus. The focus cannot be perfect. That's one of the problem of the gear,
yeah.
and it's always manual. I always use manual, never use out of focus. So and yes, one of the 100 or thousands frames will be good, but it's enough,
So
I
you
think.
shoot. How much do you have to shoot to get the one you want?
Oh, it depends on. I think what's important is not how you shoot, how you pick up your material. Where if it depends on where you're going to present, how you're going to present. I'm always trying to explain. I'm also a teacher in some way.
Right.
It's like I'm tutor there. So I'm trying to explain that yes, we can. Let's assume we are filming something, and we can film every frame in in universe. But what's important is how to pick up from all what we are shooting, the right frames and sequence and everything. So that's maybe the yeah.
When you shoot nature, do you shoot it from a stationary position, or are you constantly moving with your camera?
It depends how to when you are moving, you create. It really depends on what I would like to present. Currently, no, because if I would like to present people, uh, moving people, and I will be s stationary because I always shooting with very low exposure.
Okay.
In some cases, if I would like to do something else, I will do something else. But it's really depends on. But it's I really don't think about it. It's like instinct.
I understand. Um, when you do, I know you do a bunch of classes that teach young photographers or people who are interested in photography. Are there some tips that you give that would speak to how to get people to pick up the camera and shoot in a way that connects to their heart? Because it's finding your voice. So do you, first of all, how did you find your voice? Because you were very young when you picked up the camera versus now. Is there, what has changed? How has your style evolved?
Yes, it's you asking me questions that's very difficult to for me to explain. I don't know. It's too difficult for me. So let's start with the small steps. What was the
I was
first
talking
question?
about your class, the your workshops.
I, yeah, my workshops. Yes. So for me, it's really fun. Um, But I do, at like I try to do something different. I'm trying to present psychological effect of photography or how to. So it's very interesting. I think 3 days workshop that we going from psychological aspects of art. So we start from the art itself. What does it mean, art? And go through everything. Um, in case somebody will not connect with my style, but it's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine because not agreed. It's also understand where you are. You will know. Okay, I'm not there, but it's will help people to understand who they are. So yes, but again, we're trying to provide a lot of background. So I think it's very interesting workshop
And how would you describe the art perspective? It's
from
art. You
art
said it was about
perspective.
art. So what is it about art? If you could, I don't mean to put you in a bad, I seem to be putting you in a bad situation with
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah, yeah.
complicated questions, but
No, no. What is art is the art is not cognitive sphere, so there is no rules actually. So and the Kant explained that very simple way. So it's if you are not interesting in the subject, okay, but you get the pleasure, looks like it's art. So yes, so that's and you know it's very. I I tell you example. I don't know why you told me that I'm not filming people. I do that a lot.
I'm
Anyway,
sorry.
no, it's fine. No, it's fine. But I explain you that whenever we're talking about the Kant and the philosophers, maybe very, but the simple is very. We need to find out exactly if we connect it or our feeling toward the subject. I explain a very simple example. I feel my son. I have a son, and I feel him a lot. And I did very good. And in some cases, I understand. And it's case with the many photographers. They try to represent his love and present the people they love, and present that as the photography, as the art of photography. But again, it's and this is a problem that maybe they replace the art with something personal. It's fine. It's totally fine. But to do the real good photography, you need disconnected from the person. I mean,
Mm.
in the way that presented as the art, and it's take time. It's also the places. I visit that sea. I fall in love, and I did this beautiful frames, and it doesn't speak about the place. It's also the Venice. It's different. You need to find yourself in this place and try to represent yourself through something, but not the subject itself. So it's very complicated, maybe,
No,
but
you're very
yes,
clear about it. You're very clear.
yeah.
You described it very, very well. Um, it's hard. I'm asking you questions that are very difficult to explain because it feels like you're an emotional, creative person. So things come from your instinct rather than from like a calculated perspective, correct? Or am I wrong?
Um, I don't know.
Okay.
It really depends on at the end. At the end, whenever I have the material and I have the direction it's going, like so, I will do everything from my head. But until then, it's like to find something that you connect with and try to find your language and try to present yourself and whatever. Okay.
Wh-
Yes.
What what has been your biggest challenge in terms of your work?
Mm, yeah. To be a photographer, you need 90% networking and 10%
Yeah,
photography.
right.
In my case, is maybe one of my biggest challenges. It's I'm introvert by my definition. Okay, so I'm not too much communicative actually. And for example, in Israel, except that I win one, two shows or whatever. Here, nobody knows me. Uh, so I'm not. I don't know. Yes. So my photography, I'm trying to work pretty alone, and tending, as I said, maybe my the focal length explain myself. I'm trying to be a little bit back and see the picture. Chaplin said that whenever you step back something, you see the comedy, and you will coming
Right.
closer. It's a strategy. So I'm trying to be a little bit back, and I know this is the issue. I know this is a problem. Yeah, but I like that, and at my age, I don't try to change something.
Well, good for you. I
Okay.
mean, seriously, it's trouble. When I did my films, it's 10% the creative component and 90% the marketing and pushing and trying to raise money for all of that. It's
Yeah.
really it's painful. Do you are you if it's too personal, then you can tell me, but are you making a living through your photography, or this is something that
Yeah, I think it's not my single source.
right?
Otherwise, yes, but I think that it definitely I I do. So I'm selling books, prints, and I'm doing workshops. That's what I'm doing.
Where I'm sorry, I should have asked this in the very beginning. Where are you living now?
I'm living in Israel.
Oh, you are living in Israel. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
Um, what do you see happening for you in the next year, next 5 months, or do you have any projects that you want to work on that you're just beginning or continuing?
Yeah, so as I said, I would like to film Venice. I would like to finish that project. What you show, or it was filming, I think, 2 years ago.
Okay.
But I continue filming there, and I probably at the end of the and I will also would like to film in St. Petersburg, and how to connect that, because it's two cities very similar actually
Hmm.
in the feeling. I'm
Interesting.
not sure if I will be visiting there, but that's what I'm planning. But this again depends on the war and everything there. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
So that's a little bit problem, but yes, that's in the plan.
Do
Again,
you?
this is the city that's on the islands, connected with the bridges and the people living. It's very very similar, maybe from concept perspective, but with different people,
Right. I
with
I get it.
different culture, a little bit doomy. Like it's not always sunny. It's like a little bit dark there.
Right. I mean, I've been to Venice, but I've never been to St. Petersburg, and you spent time there, so you really have a sense of the people and the environment there.
Last time I visit St. Petersburg, it was 6 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. Yeah,
I have this. Is this your son?
this is my son. Yes, this is the son, and this is what I'm talking about. This is the portraits that I did. But yes,
Just absolutely beautiful. It's like
thank you.
it's like a painting. I'm sorry. I want to also show your work. You have a book on lily pads, correct?
That's yes, but this is done by. iPhone. I'm filmed that on my daily routine. I have the place where I'm lunch. Okay, that yeah. So that's actually the font is very small.
Do you not really use the iPhone that much?
No, no. Only when I can, go with the for lunch with the Leica. It's like I don't.
Um, do you have any kind of advice or thoughts that you want to share with people who are watching in terms of, the art that you create? Any advice about people who are starting or continuing on? Pearls of wisdom.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Um, now it's very. I think it's very easy. I think the sense of beauty is also some kind of. It can be a I mean, it's like muscle, but it's in different way. It's very interesting. But I met one photographer that doing their living, she is presented how to be the artist. So how live as an artist? Because I think it's always the, the connection between how you live, what you see, what you hear, and what you are doing. Yes, I mean as the artist. And I discussed with her, and I understand that she's right. It's not only what we, how we, it's life. So you need to see more good films, to see more good photography, and find what you love, what you don't love, and see how you can create your particular path. And again, on the workshop, this is one of my first sentences. I have no problem to show everything what I'm doing, and what we're doing is actually I don't present it something the big masters. I present what I did recently from the camera, and will do all these steps. So it's no pro and I have no problem that will somebody, and there is a lot several photographers that copy my style. I have no problem with that, because it's my style, and if somebody will be doing the exactly the same, you're welcome. It's no problem at all. But I think it's important that everybody will find his her own style, and
Right,
that will give you the happiness of be the photographer and be the artist. That's actually our goal and our love, and not to copy somebody.
right. Well, you have to be brave not to copy. You have to be brave to make mistakes. And
You, yeah, yes, 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 but you, you, many photographers now. Yeah, I don't think this is a big issue. I think the main issue is now this social media, the Instagram now. It's media that not very suitable for photography, and with the time they go to video, the short video. It's horrible. So actually, for photographers, we don't have now the platform, um, and this is the problem.
what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. You don't have the photographers now don't have what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
The platform, I mean, the Instagram
Right,
now, they more moving to the short videos.
right.
So, and Flickr is, I don't think there's somebody there. So we actually don't have any platform to share our work. Yes, so that's the problem for the young photographers, how to start to present.
Yeah. Is is there any kind of memorable moment that you had across your life that um that you might want to share, like a moment you had where you connected with the subject or the
Yeah,
environment? Is there?
yeah. You know, one time it was maybe 7 years ago. I filmed couple, daughter and mother from Newark. Maybe it was US, but I don't remember exactly where they live. But that doesn't matter. And I asked them if I can do the filming. They do okay, fine. They ate the ice cream in the water, and we'll talk. And I do several frames. And after several years, daughter wrote me that unfortunately mother died, and
Mm.
she wanted, and I sent when she was I sent the photograph, and she wrote me that mother died, and the most beautiful the portrait that was I sent them then.
Oh, wow.
And yes, so that's maybe most and I have several, like I'm not talking about that people died. Uh, but I've got feedbacks, and I think the photographer, such kind of feedback, I'm most excited that somebody tell me, yes, you know what, I think this is me on that particular
Mm.
frame. You find me, you present me, or yeah. But also there is a lot of problems that I did with. There is a lot of, so the fashion shirts that I try to, many company, they try to do that on the Dead Sea. They call me, and I will do the filming there. It was disaster. When
Really?
I do, yeah, I don't, if I'm not, maybe because I have the other income, it's very difficult to me to upload something that I feel it's not me.
Mm.
So the several tries was horrible. Someone was okay, but someone was absolutely disaster.
Well,
So that's
at least you know it wasn't coming from you. It wasn't your thing. It was a commercial situation, right?
no, that's the problem, that it was commercial, and I should
Right.
provide the outcome that I didn't agree that I will. But
Right.
anyway, it's yeah.
Well,
That's yeah.
I think we're going to be ending soon because we've gone
Okay,
over.
good.
Tell
You
me,
know, I would like to tell you that you are wonderful. How to say that? The
host.
host. Yeah. That's the right the wording, because in general I don't speak much. Okay, so yeah. So we spent almost hour.
Yeah, almost an
Yeah.
hour.
Okay, I see. Okay.
Well, we got to try because you're here. People want to hear about what you do, how you do what you do. And I know it can get annoying sometimes if
Now
it's
I
really
see
not your
here
way.
the commands. Can we get a free Palestine? I on the, I don't know why. why everything should be like that.
Mm,
Why so plain and everything. I'm not entering into the politics. Okay, let's
right.
keep
No.
that
Yeah. No.
offside.
Right.
That it's and many people don't understand. You know, you should live here to understand this country, and I'm so I think it's not appropriate.
No, I
Okay.
get it. All right. So, any last thoughts, or we will say goodbye?
Last thought. I think the art will change. They should change and will change us to the better. Okay, and more people will do any art. Open your heart and soul, and we'll be better for sure.
Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate your time. And I'm sorry for the beginning, the insanity of technology.
No, now we
Um,
know what should be done. Yes. So
yes,
yeah,
now we
yeah,
know what should be
yeah,
done.
yeah, yeah.
It's really been a pleasure. Your work is just absolutely beautiful. It's
Thank
really,
you very
really
much.
beautiful.
Thank you very
All
much.
right. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you so
Bye bye.
much. Bye bye.
Bye.